last unit, we talked a lot about multiplication and division. But we didn't do a whole lot of multiplication, right? We just talked about why we were doing it. So, Rihanna, this morning for morning warm-up, what was the question that I had you answer?
The question was, right, tell me what multiplication is.
Right.
Write a picture about it, and write a multiplication symbol.
Excellent. So I wanted you to tell me in your words what multiplication was. What were some of your answers? What did you say, Marcus?
I actually said multiplication is an easier way to get up to higher numbers, and my sentence was, I think, 9 times 4, and I draw my picture to help me answer it, and I think I got 34 or 36.
Okay. Excellent. So you said that multiplication was an easier way to get up to higher numbers. It's awesome. It's a great answer. Alec, what did you say?
I said that multiplication is an easier way to do math.
Okay, that's an easier way to do math.
My multiplication sentence was 3 times 5, and I put 5 in each, and I counted by 5 in the last.
Excellent. One thing I noticed that Alec just said was I counted by 5s. So one thing that I know that what Alec was thinking was, with multiplication you have to count by a certain number. You're counting your groups. So if I'm counting by 2s, what would my multiplication sentence look like? So let's take a look up at the board. I have 3 pictures of shoes. I know they're not the greatest looking shoes ever, but they were the best that I could do. So here are my 3 pairs of shoes. So my multiplication problem is going to be 3, right? Because I have 3 groups. How many shoes are in each group? Winter?
2.
Winter, can you come up and fill that blank in with 2? Thank you. So I can see in my picture, just like Alec explained and Marcus explained in their pictures this morning for morning warm-up, their pictures help them solve their problem. So I have 3 groups where I get my number 3, and I have 2 shoes in each group. So Alec said that when she was doing it by 5s, she just counted by 5s. What could we count by in this problem? Samara, we can count by 2s. So instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who can show me what we would say? Nyla, come on up. Nice and loud.
2, 4, 6.
Excellent. So we know that 3 times 2 is equal to how much? Troy. 6. Can you come up and put 6 up on the board? You can choose any marker you want. Thank you, sir. Now we're going to get a little bit harder. Let's count off by 1s. So I'm number 1. Jaden, what will you be?
Number 2.
Okay, we're going to count all the way till we get to Elijah. 1.
2, 3, 4, 1, 6,
7, 8, 9,
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
21. So I'm going to ask Elijah Mosley to come and put 21 underneath the word multiplication. And I'm going to ask you to pass that to Samara. And Samara, you're going to put the symbol that represents multiply. What symbol represents multiply? Excellent. ahead and put that down. Now, look at your bodies, just your body. What do you have 2 of? Caitlin.
2 joints.
You have many, many joints, right? You have 2 elbow joints. What else do you have 2 of? Jamari. You have 2 arms. You have 2 legs. You have 2 eyes. What do you have 2 of that you could take off easily? Amel.
Shoes.
2 shoes. All right. So I know that sometimes when we take shoes off, it can be a little silly. If you think you can take your shoes off without acting silly, touch your nose. And I'm doing it too, because sometimes I know I can get silly. So I'm looking around, I see almost everyone is touching their nose. Jamaris, I noticed you're not touching your... Oh, you switched. You were thinking about it. Okay. All right. So if you think you can take your shoes off without being silly, listen carefully. Starting with your left foot, take your left shoe off and place it right in front of you. Right in front of you. Caitlin, great job. Samara, great job. Alec, great job. Alright, I'm noticing Elijah Charlo is still sitting crisscross. Thank you. Dominic's shoes take a little bit longer, no worries. Alright, now if you still think that you can take your other shoe off without being silly, tap your head. Nobody changed their mind. Alright. Slowly and carefully take your right shoe off and put it right in front of you. Once you have both shoes off, say, "Oh, I'm free!"
Oh, I'm free!
Once you have both shoes off, since it's kind of hard not to be silly, say, now turn back into sophisticated mathematicians. Everybody has 2 shoes off. We are now going to multiply 21 times how many? Oh no. Look how many. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. How many?
2.
Amel, come up and put 2 next to the multiply symbol. How did Amel know we were multiplying by 2, Claude?
Because there's 21 of us and we each have 2 shoes.
So we have 21 groups, and each person is a group, times 2 being 2 shoes. All right, Mr. Blount. After you get a good stretch in, show me how you should be sitting. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. When we count, remember when you're multiplying by 2s, you can count by 2s. So you're going to put your 2 shoes a little in front of you, so your bottom is still planted on the floor. Oh wait, we haven't even started yet. So when we start, you're going to count by 2s, and you're just going to move your 2 shoes in front of you a little bit. Your bottom is still planted on the floor, so you're not going to be lifted off the ground to move your shoes. Your body is not going to be moving to move your shoes, just your hands. Okay? Who would like to start? Actually, before we start, what is the first number we're going to say if we're counting by 2s? We should know that.
2. 2.
Kenya, why don't you start since you knew that? Ready? Just Kenya, and then we're going around.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 24.
12. What comes after 12? 2 more. 2. You can count one at a time if you want.
24.
So if Elijah had 14,
16, 18,
you can count by 1 if you want. Samara.
24, 26, 28, 28, 34,
38.
Oh.
Through 38.
42.
So we have 21 times 2 equals what?
42.
Excellent. Come put that up on the board. I'm going to ask Caitlin, Emil, Rihanna, Marcus, Jamarius, and Kenya to put their shoes on. If you still don't have your shoes on, raise your hand. So you're going to put your hand down once we count by ones. I'll start. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15. So now we have 15 groups. And we're going to find out what 15 times 2 is equal to. Who would like to start counting by twos? Mr. Jason, go ahead.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12,
14.
16, 24, 26, 28.
Say it louder.
30.
So we ended with Alette.
Wait, you forgot me.
Jason, you started, sweetheart. Take a break, though, for calling out. Thank you. 15 times 2 is equal to
30.
30. All right. Now, girls, put your shoes on. Samara, put a sticker on your shirt. If you are a boy and your shoe is still off, please bring it back closer to you. Jason, what could you have done instead of calling out and saying, No, you didn't.
It's 15 and then 11.
Thank you. All right. Boys, raise your hand if you don't have a shoe on. Counting by ones.
1, 2,
3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So we have 9 groups of boys who do not have shoes on. We're going to count by twos until we see how many 9 times 2 is equal to. Starting with Dominic.
2,
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18.
And that's it. So 9 times 2 is equal to what, Marcus?
18.
Excellent job.